Okay, so hello everyone. In this video, we will see how we can select an element using query selector. In previous video, we have discussed how we can select an element using tag name. Okay, we have seen how we can select an element using class name. We have seen how we can select an element using ID. Okay, today we will see how we can select an element using query selector. So it is selector only first element. It select what? It select first element. If you will write query selector means, okay, let me tell you, for example, how many h1 elements we have. We have one h1 element, we have second h1 elements. We have total two h1 elements. So when you will write query selector, when you will write here query selector, like document, document dot query selector. Okay, when you write document dot query selector, okay, so how many elements it will select? It will select the first element. It will select first element. Let me store this inside a variable called a. Okay. And if I will print here console dot log, right? So if I will print a here, so what it is printing? It is printing h1 element. It is printing complete h1 element, which has class and ID as well. But what I want to print? I want to print this content only. So what I will write, for example, in next line, I'm writing console.log. So I will write inner text. Okay, I will write what? Inner text. When you write inner text, so what it is printing? It is printing h1 element, right? Correct or not? Okay, so this is how it works. Okay, so if you have like more number of h1 element, so out of those element, it will select what? Out of those element, it will select first one. Okay, so we are selecting using tag name. We are writing tag name, but we can select using the class name as well. What is the class? What's the class? Class name is one. Okay, this class name is one, but I want to select this line only. I want to select this line. So what I will do, I will write here class name. Using class name, you can write here dot one, because what is a class? Class is one. So we access class using dot, right? Inside the query selector, we can write tag name, we can write class name, we can write ID name. Okay. So we are writing here what? Class name. But we have how many classes we have? We have two classes. We have say two classes on same element. Okay, what I'm trying to say, I'm saying we have two h1 elements which having same classes. So it will be confused which h1 you want to display. So I will mention here index, select all, query selector all. Okay, so now it is printing. See, because query selector is for only one, only for first h1. But if you have more than one h1 or more than one element, so out of them, if you want to select anyone, so you can mention here query selector all. What you will mention? Query selector all, and you will mention the index. If you will write index one, so it will select the second element. Okay, what it is saying? Okay, this is h2 element, right? And if suppose if you are creating another element which is p element, okay, this is p1, okay, and I'm writing what? Another p. This is okay, this is p2, okay, and this is p3. So how many p tag I have? I have three p tag. Okay. So what I can write here? I can write here directly tag name. What is the name? Tag name p. Okay. Which tag you want to print? I want to print zero position. So it is printing p1 tag. If I'm writing here one position, at this time it is printing p2. And if I'm writing here three, so it is not printing anything because we have three tag, but starting this position is 0, 1 and 2. So what we have to mention in order to print third element, we have to mention here 2. So it is printing this is this p3, right? Like this it is printing. But if you will write query selector only, so what it will print? At this time, this index is not required. It will print the very first element, very first p tag, top p tag, right? So what I've written here, like when you write query selector H1. So it select only first element, right? When you writing query selector all, select all the elements. It selects all the elements. So that's why if it is selecting all the elements, if you are selecting all the elements, means you need to mention position. Okay, like position is 2. Okay, so it is printing like this. All right, so I hope you are getting like how we can use these all the selector. How many total selector are there? 5 selector. There are 5 ways to select HTML elements or HTML tag. Okay, when I'm saying elements, so I'm talking about this tag because tag and elements both are same. All right, so these elements we can select using JavaScript with the help of these selectors. Get element by tag name. Okay, get elements by class name, get elements by ID. Okay, get element by tag name again, class name, query selector, selector all. Okay, so like that we can select. All right, so thank you everyone for watching this video. In the next video, we will discuss more about DOM manipulation. All right, so thank you everyone for joining.